Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been a long time since I posted. You guys have been asking and requesting for an in the bag a ton for the last like 6 years. I've sadly never been able to really produce one for you. Luckily I got Gatekeeper out here to help me produce this video and help me create this content for you guys. I am going to start out with my distance drivers and then work down into my fairway drivers, mid-ranges, and putters. I'm currently sponsored by Infinite Disc and EV7. So those are the two companies that I'm gonna showcase here, but I feel an open bag due to my Infinite Disc sponsorship. Starting out with my drivers, I'm trying to work the Emperor into my bag. This is the Garrett Girthy signature version. I like this disc just for long bomb shots that just need to go far and left. Nothing really that crazy. It's not really a specialty disc or a disc that's been in my bag that long, but it's definitely something that I enjoy throwing and I'm trying to work into my bag. We have the Alabama Destroyer. I love this disc so much. It's been a go-to in my bag for 2 or 3 years now. It's a lightweight Destroyer at 169, and I'm just really enjoying using this disc for all shots, whether it's in the fairway or long distance shots. You've seen me use this disc all over the country in a bunch of videos. Here we have the Patrick Brown Infinite Disc Slab. This disc he calls the dirt diver. He literally, like, this is something where if I'm in super windy or I need to go way up over a tree, I just throw this disc way up high and I know it's gonna be trying to dive to the ground. Check these out. This is Infinite Disc Slab, Patrick Brown's signature version. So if you're interested in an overstable disc, whether you throw sidearm or thumb or anything, make sure to go to infinitedisc.com, look for this, support Patrick Brown on his tour, and support Infinite Disc. I have another pre-Avery Destroyer that I'm really enjoying. This disc is another light one. It's 167. It's kind of my bomber. If I need to throw a low hyzer flip that is going to carry a little more than this pink one here, I'm going to use this disc. It feels good in my hand. It's a Destroyer. It's nice and domey. This is just a disc that has found a good place in my bag for certain shots. We have the Wraith. This is definitely a go-to disc for me. I only throw it fan grip, so it's kind of if I'm in between a fairway driver and a distance driver, but I need to make sure I don't miss shore or I get an extra little bit of glide out of it. I'm definitely using the Wraith. For a long time, I never used it. And then my last year on Innova, I actually just kind of put the Wraith in my bag and ended up loving it. So it's found a solid place in my bag for just kind of like an in-between a distance driver and a fairway driver shot, but I'm definitely enjoying the Wraith. Then here's a disc I put in my bag just for water, wind. It's a good Destroyer. I really enjoy it, but it's nothing too crazy. It's nothing that I think needs to, if I lost it, I wouldn't be that hard to replace as opposed to my other ones that are like my babies. But this is super overstable. I thought fan grip, power grip, I can flex it. I can trust it into wind. This has just become a staple in my bag over the last probably month or so, but I'm really digging this disc. We're gonna move on to my fairway drivers. So for my fairway drivers, I have a mixture of my Infinite Disc Swirly Scepter, an Eagle, of Legacy Disc Vengeance, and some T-Birds. So we're gonna start out with the T-Birds here. So I carry 3 T-Birds, and so starting out with my most understable one, actually does have a Legacy Disc stamp on it. This was a Ricky Wysocki signature disc. I really love this disc, and this is a disc I'll use if I need to go left, straight, or right, which is like, well, why would you need more? But this disc wants to kind of go to the right, but I can work it down a fairway, wooded fairway, wide open shot. It's kind of like a farther flying buzz for me. So it's a really good tool to have, but it's not always good in the wind, or I definitely don't want to throw this disc around water. So here we have the Anthony Varela T-Bird. This is one of my straightest flying discs in my bag when I'm throwing it hard. But this is another disc that I'm not so worried about per se losing. So if there's a tricky shot, or I might hit the first tree, or I might lose it in the water, I definitely am not gonna throw my red one that's been a go-to in my bag. So this is a disc that I trust and I love it, and I actually throw it a lot out here in Vegas, but I'm not worried about if something happens to it. And then we have the Jennifer Allen Tour Series T-Bird, overstable. I use this disc not that often, but I do have it in the bag just in case I need that 400-foot shot that doesn't ever flip up, but just kind of slowly glides to the left, like my Destroyer might be a little too skippy. I would definitely bust this T-Bird out and just try to get that extra little bit of glide out of the shot. And then one of my go-tos, Legacy Vengeance, I kind of helped them bring this disc to life, and so I'm still using it. I still love it a lot. It's just a farther version of that more overstable T-bird. This disc is for sure gonna hold the line. It's gonna consistently finish to the left for me. And it's just a disc that I can always rely on being there for me. And it's gonna go a little bit farther than my Fairway Drivers, but not quite distance driver. So it's a good complement to my Wrait, being in that category of like the middle of the road where it's definitely not a driver and it's definitely not a fairway driver. Infinite Disc Scepter. I love this disc. It's actually my signature disc, so if you want to go to infinitedisc.com and pick up one of these, I would compare it most to a Sexton Firebird, where it's a very controllable, overstable fairway driver, but anyone can use it. This is great for sidearm, this is great for backhand. This is a great disc for anybody that just needs an overstable, reliable disc in their bag. That's exactly what I use it for. I throw it on fan grip, I throw it on power grip. I would use this disc in the place where I would use the Patrick Brown slab to go up over trees, but where I don't need it to go as far, or maybe I need a little more glide down the fairway, is where I would use this disc. Great one, I love having it in the bag. Thank you, Infinite Disc. The Eagle. I recently put this disc back in my bag. I think this one has 650 stamps on it. One day I just counted for fun, but this disc has become a staple out here. It's pretty wind resistant, and it just feels good in my hand. I used to throw the Eagle a lot, and I kind of went away from it, and I'm definitely happy to have this back in my bag. I don't know exactly in what form I'm going to be using it in all the time, but I would like to keep this in my bag just to use it for certain utility shots. As of right now, I am carrying it, but it's not a staple yet. On to my mid-ranges. I only currently carry 3 buzzes. So I have just the stock stamp buzz that thankfully Bob Julio was able to hook me up with. When I first went open bag, he was very welcoming of me throwing Discraft discs and trying to promote their brand and stuff. And this is something that has been in my bag since the day I got it, and I really, really love it. I have the First Run buzz. You've definitely seen me throw this. Super understable, great for any wood shot. I'll even throw this where sometimes I'd be throwing a putter, but this is a disc that is going to obviously go a little farther than a putter, but it has that same nice flip up, turn, and glide that a beat up putter would have. So it's definitely a good tool to have in my bag. And then another one, this one's much more stable than the yellow one, and it definitely, I can release this disc flat and know that it's just going to carry dead straight, which we all like to throw dead straight. So this is definitely a big tool in my bag, but these 3 buzzes have added a lot to my game, and I really love being able, the versatility of these 3 discs in my bag has added a bunch to my mid-range game, which was already a super strong portion of my game. On to my upshot putters. So I only carry 3 upshot putters. I have one super beat up KC Pro AVR that is at this point a beadless AVR, but this is only really good for long jump putts or turnover upshots or drives. I don't really use this to ever go left. I don't use it for much anymore, but it's definitely a staple in my bag and something I really enjoy using. We have the Luna. Paul McBeth was gracious enough to gift me one of these. They're pretty hard to find, but this thing just goes forever. This is one putter where if you get it on the right line, it's going to just glide and glide and glide and keep going, and that's something we all can use, especially when you're using a putter for an upshot or a drive where you're maybe in between a mid-range and a putter, whether that's your 200-foot or your 400-foot distance. This is definitely a putter that I trust to just keep on going and keep on having a good flight on it. And then 2021 signature disc, the Infinite Disc Ruin. I'm really enjoying this disc. It took the place of my zone right away. This is something that I can't wait to continue to use and continue to utilize on tour. This is a really good tool for me, and though it has such a beautiful little, you can throw it on a little flex shot and it's going to come out and come back and maybe even have a little skip at the end for a putter, but if you do land it flat, it's not going to jump around and go crazy. So it's very reliable on it, whether I need to work it into a green or I'm just landing it in the green. It kind of will stick and do as you please, to where some putters, when you throw them, they don't, they're not going to move as much on the green, and sometimes you need that move in order to get to the pin. So now we're going to go to my putting putters. EV7, for the next 3 seasons, I'm going to be putting or throwing their putters. This putter is their first version. It's the Penrose. It's a very tacky but still stiff putter. I actually have it in the OG Hard and the OG Medium. I haven't really quite decided what putter I'm going to use for the year, like what plastic, but I'm for sure using this mold. I'm loving it. It's something you guys should for sure look into and make sure that you are getting an opportunity to try the new discs the EV7 is coming out with. We're hoping to come out with 11 new putters this year. So make sure to keep an eye out. Make sure to support them. They're a new company. I want to thank you guys for joining. Please make sure to support Infinite Disc and EV7. They're my biggest sponsors. Those are the reason I'm out here on tour, out here giving you guys these videos. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time.